foundation stone of a peak performing board rests on two key positions, which is the chair and the board secretary.
The role of the company secretary is quite huge. Now, starting with the logistics of everything, like arranging for the meetings, whom to invite, whom not to invite, how to invite different companies or people to participate and to deliver presentations, and making sure the logistics are there, all the equipment required for the board meeting, for example, are there, the room is well equipped and accessible and everything. So all this is part of it, but this is the easy part, if you like.
We at the Phillips Group always say CEOs can't succeed where boards fail. And seasoned board members know without a shadow of a doubt that the forming board secretary goes far beyond secretarial and administrative work. It rests on having a deep understanding of corporate governance in the region, understanding the compliance and regulatory framework, and having the finesse, political acumen, and communication skills to hold high-ranking board members accountable to their roles and responsibilities.
He or she should have enough antennas to know what's happening on the ground externally from a regulatory point of view, environment and framework, and how the company is addressing these issues.
I wouldn't say it's a compliance role, but they are more of keeping track that the board is adhering to all regulations as well. So if there is any sort of breaking of laws and regulations or something that the board has to be doing, such as declaration of conflict of interest, for example, and stuff like that, they have to be managing this process, making sure it does happen end of the day.
Because he is instrumental in the process of onboarding board members, he or she has the first-hand experience about the board members, what they do, their capacity, where they stand vis-a-vis the function that they are managing. They are like the first line of defense, the way I see them. So they should actually flag issues that, similar to what you mentioned, and they should not be perceived as stepping over somebody else's, toes. So yeah, I agree. They should make sure that the board is functioning as per the charter.
One of the most difficult things to deal with is when you have an underperforming board member, and especially when this board member is extremely senior. And this is where having a very strong board secretary can help you drive that peak performance in your board and help highlight these are the roles and responsibilities that are being missed, and start to apply pressure in a very finesse way, in a very polished way that breeds collaboration and doesn't breed further conflict. And this is where a strong board secretary can help a board get compliance and close these gaps for your board.
And one of the roles which also that the board secretary plays is legal advisor for the board. So if the board is discussing something and that's in violation of certain regulations, he or she will say this is against the CMA, for example, or the Companies Act, we cannot do this and so on. And that's why companies prefer to have somebody with legal background, although it's not a condition. But he or she has to read the law, basically. So even if you get somebody who is an economist, for example, or a business graduate or whatever, and he or she is the board secretary, but they have to understand the law very well. Because once a resolution is coming out from the board, it will start to be implemented. So we have to make sure before going out that this is actually a legal resolution or decision.